Hey guys, as promised, here's the video that I told you all about. Okay, now let me just clarify a few things. Everything that I talk about, anything that I show you in this video is all true. Now, I know there's fake people out there, and a lot of them do it for clout. I'm not doing it for clout. I don't think it's funny. I don't think anybody should do that. I think it's scary, and I would prefer not having anything in my house and not having to be talking about something like this. So, without further ado, let's get right on into this. Okay, I'm going to start this video out talking about a few things that's happened here, and then I'm going to backtrack, and then I'm going to come to the present. Okay, so I hope I don't lose you all anywhere. And if you hear that beeping, please, please, I know that I need to change my battery. I've had a few people tell me that, and I just haven't done it yet, but I'm going to. Okay. I made a video last night and put it on TikTok. And in the middle of that video, my calendar started moving. Okay, I didn't get it on film at that time because I was making a TikTok. I was talking to my brother a little bit later, and he said, "Why didn't you get that on film?" All of a sudden, it started doing it again. So I caught it on video. I will be showing you in this video here. But when I first moved here, I already had a feeling that something was wrong with this apartment. I just knew it. I get these feelings. The feeling that I'm talking about is just like a gut feeling. I just get this gut feeling, and it's usually right. So if you ever get a gut feeling, you need to go on it because it's trying to tell you something. But this apartment here, my daughter and her 2 children at the time had come to stay with me and my son. My grandson was just a baby. He had a bouncy seat. Okay, and back there behind me is my living room. We were all sitting in the living room watching a movie. My daughter picks my grandson up out of the bouncy seat and is holding him. Okay, now all of us is lined up on the couch and my son's in the chair. Out of the blue, my grandson's bouncy seat flips off the ground and flips in the air and lands back down. Yeah. So now if my daughter hadn't picked up my grandson when she did, it could have killed him or hurt him really bad. While my daughter was staying here, she says she heard things walking around in the kitchen. She was always scared. I've had water turn on in my bathroom and in my kitchen. Lights off and on. Cabinet doors open. Calendar last night. I hear my son holler for me when he don't holler for me. I answer him and I look stupid because he's like, "What are you answering for, Mom? What are you talking about? I didn't holler for you." It's just so many things. Okay. While me and my son went to Wisconsin to visit my niece, my dad was in a garage and he heard something up here while we were gone. He was down there working around and he told my mom, "It sounds like Pam and Levi's upstairs in the apartment." But I know they're not. He said he heard walking all over the place like as if somebody was up here. Scared him. Okay. Yes, there's strange things that's happened in the garage too that he's caught on to. But what can you do? Especially if you feel that wherever you move, it follows you. Okay? So yeah. Now I'm going to backtrack and I'm going to talk about the apartment from hell. Now this is where it's going to get very interesting because this apartment, and let me just say, it was pure evil. It was the apartment from hell. Okay, now if any of you all that watches this video is familiar with Point Pleasant, West Virginia, you'll probably know where I'm talking about. Okay, now there's 2 sets of apartments that's down there. Okay, and they call it the Hole. Okay, there's the Shawnee side, and then there's the Pleasant Valley apartment side. Okay, and I lived on the Shawnee side. Now, I lived there 3 times. Yes, 3 times. The first time I lived in the apartment, the first apartment, I didn't have my son yet. It was just me and my 2 daughters. Okay, now there wasn't nothing major that happened in that apartment other than the door would shut or open. And I always just called it Casper. I didn't pay no attention to it. Even though the little neighborhood kid kept telling me that he was hearing strange things in their apartment. Now this little boy was really terrified. He said that he had heard things in the vents, in the walls. He had been locked out of his apartment when his mom left it unlocked. Something from inside locked the door and locked him out when he was at baseball practice. So him and his mom eventually moved out of there. And now I know why they did. So me and my kids moved out of that apartment after about a year, a little over a year. We come back. And I moved up into another section, but on the same side, still Shawnee. In this apartment, it was bad. It was bad. But nothing compared to the next apartment that we moved into. Okay? But it only happened when I was home alone. When my girls went to their dad's for the weekend, it picked on me. I was the target in this apartment. In the next apartment, all of us was the target. Okay, so after some time, we're living in this apartment. My girls go to their dad's for the weekend. Now, my brother and his wife and their kids live next door over in the other set of apartments, Pleasant Valley. So this is a Friday night, so I decide to walk over to their apartment. We drink a few beers, have some pizza. I go home. Now, let me remind you that I'm alone in this apartment. And I'm pretty lit. So I go straight upstairs, jump in my bed, clothes and all, other than the shoes. Sometime in the middle of the night, my bed starts shaking. Now, I can feel my bed moving. But to me, I thought I was just drunk and just imagining it. Okay? But I wasn't. Because when I woke up the next morning, my bed had went from one side of the room all the way to the other side of the room. And I was up against the closet doors. So, right then I knew something was wrong with this apartment. And it was bad. So let me just say, I'm pretty freaked out. I mean, I remember, plain as day, right now, this bed shaking and moving. And I can remember it moving. But I thought I was just lit. But I wasn't, and it still blows my mind that my bed, something was actually moving my bed with me in it. Okay. After that, I never slept upstairs. Never again. While my kids were at their dad's for the weekend. Actually, I tried to stay as much as possible over at my brother's house. Because I was just so scared. But some time later, I end up pregnant with my son. And I stay home. And this time I sleep on the couch. And then my kids were gone for the weekend. Something wakes me up in the middle of the night with my smoke alarm going off. I jump up panicking, thinking there's a fire. There's no fire. Alarm goes off. I drift off back to sleep again. It starts again. Smoke alarm going off. Wakes me up. I can't sleep. Okay, so now I get up and set up and smoke me a cigarette. And I'm just trying to get my bearings together and trying to think, a stupid fly. Am I imagining this? So after I smoke my cigarette, I lay back down again and I'm looking around. And then sometime or another, I drift off back to sleep. It does it again. Now I know something's fucking with me, okay? I jump up. I'm very angry. I holler like a dummy and say, you got my attention. What the hell do you want? My toilet flushes. I look at the top of the stairs. The only lights on upstairs is my bathroom. I see a shadow come out of the bathroom. I freak the hell out. Okay, I turn on all the lights. I jump over and get underneath my blanket because it's too late to go to my brother's house. I'm not going to go wake them up. So morning comes. Everything's okay. I decided I'm not staying in this apartment no more when my kids are gone. Never again. So I went and stayed with my brother and his wife the next night, that night. And then my kids come home on Sunday. Nothing happened in that apartment the whole time my girls were there. Nothing. Okay. A little ways time later, I decided I don't want to be in that apartment no more. I didn't feel comfortable in that apartment no more. So we moved. Okay, some time has passed. I had my son. My son is now, at that time, 2 years old. I decide I'm going to move back. Like a dummy. Biggest mistake of my life. So this time, we moved into a 3-bedroom apartment around the corner. Okay, I'm nervous, so I'm smoking, so I'm sorry if it offends anybody. But I have to, okay, because I'm getting a little bit shook up on this one, okay? This apartment here is 1204 Colonial Lane. Now, I say that because I remember it very well. I remember them all, but this one here just has never left me or my children. Okay, like I said, my son was 2. My daughter was 15, my oldest one. And I think Jessica was 10 or 11. Yeah, she was about 11. Okay. This apartment was bad right from the start. Right from the start. So we get all moved in. The first thing I noticed is how dark it is in this apartment. No matter how much light came in, it stayed dark and cold. All the time cold. Even if you turn the central air off, it was cold. You could walk outside and it'd be hot as hell. Walk back in that apartment, it was like walking into an iceberg. And the air wouldn't even be on. Okay? This apartment, it was bad. Okay? I never wanted to stay alone in that apartment. I never wanted my kids to go for the weekend. I'm seeing things. But anyways, just bear with me for a minute because this is really hard. Now, like I said, I didn't want my kids to leave for the weekend to their dads. I just did. I had a bad feeling about this apartment. A really bad, uneasy feeling about this apartment. That's that gut feeling I'm telling you about, that I knew that if me and my son were alone in this apartment, something bad was going to happen. That's how bad this apartment was. Okay? You could just feel it. But my daughters never really went to their dads too much at that time because they wanted to spend more time with their friends, you know. But I didn't even want them staying all night with their friends. And I know that sounds selfish, but I did not want to be in this apartment alone. And when I start telling you, you'll know why. And you wouldn't have wanted to have been in there alone either. Okay, the first thing we notice is walking. We heard a lot of walking up around the stairs, upstairs. Doors would shut when we left them open. If we let them open, they'd be shut. Lights on and off, you know. Vice versa. You blow it off, you know. Then one morning in particular, me and my oldest daughter was sitting downstairs. And my youngest one already rushed to school because she had to have her breakfast. She didn't understand. She had to have her breakfast. So she was already gone. My son was still asleep. We heard running down the stairs. Okay, I'm assuming that it's the girl next door's kids running down the stairs because our steps would have been side by side. Our stairs would have been. So I thought that her kids were just running down the stairs getting ready for school. But that wasn't the case. And I'm going to tell you why. So my daughter decides to go over there just to see if she's still living there. You know, we're curious. Because strange things has already been happening. She comes running back in. She's like, Mom, you're never going to believe this. That apartment's empty. Now, I'm really freaked out. Because that means something ran down the stairs in my apartment. Okay, and when I say run, I mean it come down the stairs a few steps and jumped really hard on one step. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm not going to let this get to me. The next morning comes. It happens again. Running down the stairs, except this time, crazy fly, it gets down a little bit further at the bottom of the stairs and jumps real hard again. So now this becomes a regular routine every morning, about 7:45 a.m. Now, let me just remind you that my youngest daughter has not yet heard this. So she thinks we are crazy. She doesn't believe us. And every morning it gets down a little bit further to the bottom of the stairs. And here I'm thinking, oh, that crazy fly. What's it going to do once it reaches the bottom? Okay, so now a couple days passes and it's still running down the stairs, you know. Getting a little bit further down. Me and my daughter one night is sitting at the kitchen table playing some cards. I don't remember what we were playing, but we were listening to some music, laughing, talking. My son is asleep on the couch. My youngest daughter is upstairs in bed. She's not afraid because she's not heard what me and her older sister has heard. All of a sudden, me and my daughter hear this awful sound coming from my son's bedroom. Which, now let me remind you, he never sleeps in this room because there's something about this room that gives me bad vibes. So I always leave the light off, shut the door. It's got his toys in it. So when we're upstairs, he goes in there, you know, and plays a little bit while I'm there with him. But he never sleeps in this room. He sleeps in my room. I'll just say that. So what me and my daughter hears is sounds like something is being dragged across the bedroom floor. I mean, it is the awful sound that you would ever hear. The hair stood up on my arms. You just would have flipped out, okay? You can't even imagine what it would have been. Okay, we looked like ghosts. We were so pale. We were so scared. What is that? Okay, I'm freaking out, y'all. So we knew we had to go upstairs. My daughter's up there. So we're going up the stairs, and now once you get to the top of the stairs, it kind of goes to the left, like to the left, and then my son's bedroom's right there, and then straight is my daughter's room, and then bathroom, my bedroom. And once we reach the top of the stairs, you can see my son's bedroom lights on, and the door's open. Okay, now I just told you that I keep the light off and the door shut. Okay, now I'm going to tell you, I keep my son's high chair in this room with the door shut because my son likes to take the high chair and climb and get in the cabinets, and I don't want him to break his neck. So I always fold it up in the night and put it up in that room. So we get around the corner. We look in my son's bedroom, and there, in front of the window, is propped up my son's high chair. Okay, now I had this high chair folded and laid up against the wall beside the door where the light switch is. Something had took that high chair, unfolded it, and drug it clear across the floor over to in front of the windows. I get the high chair. I fold it back up. I lay it back up against the wall. I shut the light off. We pull the door shut. I go to get my daughter. We go back downstairs. Now I'm alert. Now I'm too scared to even go to bed. Because now I know this is getting very serious. I mean, if something can take a high chair and move it in front of a window, turn on a light switch, open up a door, it can touch you, right? That's what I'm thinking. So now I'm fearing for my children living in this apartment. So now we're downstairs and I'm on watch alert. I can't sleep. So I'm sitting up half the night, tired, trying to make sure nothing bothers my children. But here's my question. How can you fight something you can't see? Okay, you can't see this, so how can you fight it? All right? So now I'm starting to look bad. I'm getting black underneath my eyes. I'm not sleeping. I'm worried for my children and myself. My health is deteriorating in this apartment. It was draining us. It was draining me. It was draining my oldest daughter. It didn't seem to affect my youngest two that much, but it did affect me and my oldest daughter. Okay? Sometimes she would even stay up just so I could get rest. I mean, this is how bad it got. Now, my youngest daughter is running late for school one morning. Now, I'm going to go back to the running down the stairs at 7:45 a.m. in the morning. So now she's home at this time. Okay, so my youngest one's in the bathroom, very angry because she's late for school, so she don't get to get breakfast. She's not actually late for school, she's just not going to get breakfast. Okay, I can make her breakfast, but she wants school breakfast. Kids, right? I look at the clock. I told my oldest daughter it's 7:45. It's getting ready to happen. And here it comes. Running down the stairs, jump. But she was scared to death. And I told her, this is what we've been trying to tell you. This is what we've been hearing. And you didn't believe us. So now my daughter's scared. Now she doesn't even want to sleep upstairs no more. So now we all sleep downstairs. Nobody sleeps upstairs. We don't take showers by ourselves. Somebody's on guard because you get the feeling that something's watching you, and you feel safer knowing that somebody's out there guarding the door. Sounds crazy? Yes. If you've ever lived through this, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, I hope you never do. Okay? At nighttime, you can just hear so many footsteps walking across the bedroom floors. I can hear them upstairs in my bedroom. They're walking across the halls. I'm so scared they're going to come downstairs. I'm sitting there with all my kids laying beside me. Yes, I had a couch where it had recliners. We was all comfortable. Okay, but I felt like my children were not safe. Because like I said, you can't fight something you can't see. But yet I felt better knowing that I was watching. That I was going to try to protect my children regardless. And what puzzles me the most is how did my youngest daughter not hear that chair being dragged across the floor? She's right next door. It was almost as if it blocked the sound from her. There's no way she would not have heard that. It was so loud. We were downstairs in the dining room. We could hear it. She was right next door. She never heard one thing. And that just really scares me. Because whatever was in this apartment was pretty powerful. Okay, one day, me and my daughter sitting in the living room. I see a black shadow come down the stairs. Okay, now black shadows are not good. Okay, I know this. I didn't know my oldest daughter saw it too. So when I look over at her, she's looking at the bottom of the stairs. So I know now she saw what I just saw. So I look over at my daughter. She looks like a ghost. She said, "Mom, did you see that?" I said, "See what?" She said, "Did you see what I just saw?" I said, "You tell me what you saw." She said, "Mom, I saw a black shadow come down the stairs and around the bottom of the platform like to come down into the living room." I said, "I saw it too." It just blows my mind what we went through in this apartment. I've had my cabinet doors open. I've had my drawers open. I've had my refrigerator door open and nobody be in there. I'd come in the apartment, we'd be outside on the front porch, come back in. Everything's open in my kitchen. So here I am in the kitchen shutting all this stuff up, you know, because I knew it should not. I didn't want my kids to see that. Okay, because they would have been terrified. It was already bad enough what was going on, but if they just saw that, they'd have freaked out. So I hurry up and go back outside after I get all that shut. We all go in. We're all scared. We're terrified in this apartment. We're not happy in this apartment. It was really starting to take a toll on us, and it really took a toll on me. I was trying to work. I didn't want to leave my kids at home, so I was missing work. My boss didn't know what was going on. She told me I was looking bad. I told her, just give me some time. I'm getting ready to move. I'll explain later. I've got to get my kids out of this apartment. I know if I tell you, you're going to think I'm crazy. Because who's going to believe these stories? Who's going to believe this? There's a lot of people right now not going to believe what I'm saying. Even though I know it's true, and so do my children. So one afternoon, my two daughters are sitting in the floor with my son. And they're watching Beauty and the Beast, okay, because that was my son's favorite. All of a sudden, out of the blue, my son looks at the bottom of the platform of the stairs. And he's scared. And he covers up his eyes and hides. And then he peeks back out and looks back over, and then he hides again. And he's scared to death. And we're looking because we can't see what he's seeing. And whatever it was terrifying my son. He would cry and he'd peek up and look and he'd hide. And he did that like 5 times. And then finally whatever it was went away and he went on about his business. Instead of this day, I don't know what my son saw. I'm glad he can't remember. But whatever it was bad. And he saw it. He actually saw what this thing was. And it scared him to death. I was so afraid whatever was upstairs was going to come down because I knew it could. And it was almost as if they were having a seance upstairs. You could like hear them humming. Okay, and I know that sounds bizarre, but this is all true, I'm telling you. I knew I had to get my kids out of this apartment. I knew we had to get out of this apartment. Okay, because whatever was in here did not want us in there. It wanted us out. So I started looking for places. And I found a place. Okay. So I had my mom and dad come help me. The girl that I knew had this house. She worked with me. I told her that what was going on in this apartment was really bad, and I had to get my kids out of there. So me and my kids are packing, you know. It's going to take some time. And I'm up at like 4 o'clock in the morning packing stuff because I'm so excited to get out of this apartment. Okay, because I knew it was bad. I wasn't staying there any longer. I don't even think we lived there over a time period, not even 2 months. Not even 2 months. I mean, that's how bad it got. I mean, it was just like living in hell. It was just a nightmare. I mean, it just happened all the time. Lights flickering off and on, doors shutting and opening. Kitchen cabinets, doors opening and shutting. Running down the stairs. You did not feel safe in this apartment. Okay? And it was always so dark. And I even asked my neighbors if they heard things. You know, and they looked at me funny. But they never did say. Until the day that I left that apartment. Then they told me. I'm going to go back to the 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm up all by myself. The kids are in the living room. And I'm hearing things. And I'm hearing something walking down the stairs. Okay, so now I'm so scared that I'm crying. Okay? Because I knew something was coming after me. Or my children. So I run into the dining room. I hear it coming. And like a crazy nut that I would sound to anybody else, I screamed. And I begged it to leave us alone. And I told it that we were moving. And I know this sounds crazy, but I did talk to it. And I said, if you see the boxes, you see that you won. We're leaving. It's your apartment. You can have it back. But please, I said, for the love of God, leave me and my children alone until we get out. And I promise you, I will never, ever, ever come back to these apartments again. And do you believe this thing listened to me? This thing, whatever it was, turned around and walked back upstairs. And we never heard another thing until we got out. Nothing. It listened to me. Now, I know that sounds crazy. And to anybody else that's never lived like this, or been through this, or don't believe in ghosts or spirits or evil spirits or whatever, would think I sound crazy. But to those of you out there that know what I'm talking about, you know. Okay? And this thing listened to me. And we got out. And the day that we left, the day that we packed our last little bit of stuff out the door, I left the key on the kitchen counter, and I never even took it to my landlords down at the apartments. I left it on that counter, and I locked that door, and I walked the hell out. And I looked back at that apartment, and you could feel something watching us. You could just feel it looking at us out the windows. You could feel it. It looked so dark, and you could just feel it. And I had never been so happy in my life. My kids were so happy to leave this apartment. My neighbors come out and wants to know why we're moving. And I tell them. And the boys that live in this apartment next door, the sons, told me and my kids that they had been hearing things in their vents and stuff at night and that they were scared. And I was like, I told you all, and you didn't listen to me. My best advice for you all is you all need to get out of this apartment. You need to get out, okay, because it's only going to get worse, because we're leaving. Now, I looked at this apartment. I told it bye. I never returned, never, like I promised it. But I feel like something is attached to us. So we move into my friend's house. Everything's fine for a little while. All of a sudden, we start hearing things in this house. Oh, yes. Crazy, huh? It sounded like somebody was taking a bat and beating the hell out of my dryer in the laundry room. And it happened every night at midnight. Yeah, crazy. We didn't stand a chance. It's just like it wasn't cutting us a break. Okay, it was not cutting us a break at all. But it happened like clockwork. Every night at midnight, somebody took a bat and beat the hell out of my dryer. But when you went in there was nothing in there. You would hear things outside the house. You felt like something was walking into your bedroom while you were asleep. Knocks came on our doors, and nobody there. So let me just say that we did not stay in this house very long. But everywhere we moved, it didn't matter. Something was going on in that house. So that's why I feel like something has attached to me and my children. Now, my two daughters are all grown and have children of their own. My son is grown, but he lives with me. He's borderline autistic. But my daughters have kids, and they have their own homes, and my daughter's house is haunted. My youngest daughter, she's heard things in her apartment that she lives in now. It's happened everywhere she moves to. She even caught my granddaughter talking to something. So yeah, something's attached. So now I'm back here, okay? And like I told you, there's a few things that happened here. And I'm about to show you a video of what I was talking about in my TikTok last night about the calendar moving and what I caught. And now let me just tell you, there was no fan on. Like I said, there was no way in hell anything could have been blowing that calendar. So please be open-minded to this. And to those of you that's negative, just keep your negative comments to yourself, because apparently you had never been through what I've been through and what other people may have been through. So I'm about to show you now this calendar. And then I'm going to show you a picture of what I had took. And I was like cartooning myself, and I caught something in my window. I'm going to show you now. So now you've seen the picture. You watched the little video clip of my calendar moving. Now that's just a tip of the things that's happened in this apartment. I mean, this apartment, there's something here. I don't know if there was already something here before I moved in it. Could have been. Do I feel like something's attached to me and my children? Yes, I do. I did use a spirit box about 7, 8, 9 months ago. Should have never done it. I'm not an experienced person. Could I have stirred something up even worse in here? Yes, I could have. And my advice to you, if you don't know what you're doing with those spirit boxes, don't use them. Because I didn't. And I think I really messed up doing that. I was just curious about what was in my apartment, and I thought I'd try it. And yes, it's an app. Paranormal investigators on YouTube use this app. So I know it to be true. And it said my name. And I can promise you I never used it again. Okay? It scared me to death. It's not something you want to mess with if you don't know what you're doing. That's all I'm going to say. I have recorded videos like for TikTok, and I've overheard things cut into my videos and say some mean, scary things to me. Okay, I've heard get out. I'm here. I'm right behind you. I don't always talk about it, but there's been some crazy shit happening. There's the video that I promised you. I hope you enjoyed it. Did y'all hear that? Something just flew from my shelf. Yeah. So I'm getting off here now because I'm scared. If y'all like this video, smash that like button. Smash that subscribe button. Ding that little bell. It'll let you know when I've uploaded the new video. I will keep you all updated on this. And I'll catch y'all next time.